shenanigans and I don't smell. Imagine, you can walk around drunk all day.
Seinfeld wasn't supposed to become a television revolution. Executives doubted it, critics questioned it, and early audiences nearly killed it. Yet 4 neurotic New Yorkers turned nothing into comedy history. Behind the laughter were risky deals, ego clashes, and one shocking $110 million decision. So what happened behind the scenes? Number 1. The $110 million walkaway. At the absolute peak of its dominance, NBC offered Jerry Seinfeld $5 million per episode to continue for one more season, roughly $110 million for a single year. It would have made him the highest paid television actor in history. The show was still number 1, ratings were untouchable, syndication money was flowing, and yet he said no. Ending a hit at its height defied Hollywood logic. But that refusal protected the show from decline and preserved its mystique. Instead of fading, Seinfeld froze in time, sharp, confident, undefeated. Number 2. The finale that stopped America. When the final episode aired in 1998, more than 76 million viewers tuned in. Streets emptied, restaurants paused service, even emergency crews reported lighter traffic. It wasn't just a finale, it was a national moment. In an era before streaming fractured attention, nearly the entire country watched together. Love the ending or not, the scale was historic. Few shows have ever commanded that level of shared focus. The finale marked more than the end of a sitcom. It signaled the closing chapter of network television's true monoculture era. Number 3. The pilot everyone thought would fail. Test audiences hated the pilot. Feedback described it as boring, too, New York, and strangely uneventful. NBC responded cautiously, ordering only 4 additional episodes, the smallest sitcom pickup at the time. Larry David assumed it was over. The cast braced for disappointment. Nothing about it looked like a hit, but instead of softening the concept, the creators doubled down on awkward realism and social discomfort. What early viewers dismissed as nothing happening later became the show's identity. The failure almost happened. The risk made it sharper. Number 4. The show about nothing was never the plan. The phrase that defined an era was originally just a joke inside the show. When Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David pitched the series, they described it as a show about how a comedian finds material, how everyday annoyances become stand-up bits. Somewhere along the way, a line about creating a show about nothing stuck in the public imagination. The label spread faster than the truth. Critics repeated it. Fans embraced it. The branding became mythology. Yet the irony is that Seinfeld was about everything: insecurity, dating politics, social etiquette, envy, pettiness, friendship, ambition. It stripped away moral lessons and sentimental music, leaving human behavior exposed. The misunderstanding became part of the legend. The show wasn't empty, it was brutally specific, and that specificity made it universal. Number 5. The courtroom candy that became real. The Junior Mint episode remains one of the sharpest farces in sitcom history. Kramer accidentally drops a piece of candy into a patient during surgery. The absurdity plays perfectly on screen. What few people expected was its life beyond television. Years later, the episode surfaced in a real-life workplace lawsuit involving inappropriate jokes referencing the show. Headlines labeled it the Seinfeld case. A fictional mishap about candy became part of legal argument. That's how deeply the series penetrated culture. Its dialogue, situations, and phrasing seeped into daily life. It wasn't background entertainment. It shaped how people spoke, joked, and even litigated. The line between sitcom and society blurred in ways few shows ever achieve. Number 6. Killing Susan wasn't originally the plan. George Costanza's fiancée, Susan Ross, died from licking toxic wedding envelopes. It remains one of the darkest punchlines in sitcom history. But behind the scenes, the storyline carried tension. Cast chemistry matters in comedy. Timing matters. Rhythm matters. When something feels off, audiences sense it, even if they can't articulate why. The decision to remove Susan from the story shocked viewers at the time. Killing off a main character in a comedy was bold, even cold, yet it reinforced the show's refusal to follow emotional convention. There were no tender hospital scenes, no redemptive arcs, just a flat acknowledgement and a quick return to self-absorption. It was ruthless, and it was unforgettable. Number 7. The real soup Nazi. The soup Nazi felt exaggerated, almost cartoonish. He wasn't. The character was inspired by a real New York soup vendor known for strict rules and explosive reactions. When the episode aired, the catchphrase, "No soup for you," became instant folklore. Tourists sought out the real shop. the man behind the inspiration, reportedly resented the portrayal. That tension between reality and satire captured what Seinfeld did best: observe sharply, exaggerate slightly, and let the audience recognize the truth. The character wasn't merely a joke, he represented authority, control, and social compliance in miniature. And with one phrase, he entered the American lexicon permanently. Number 8. The serial killer name coincidence. In one episode, Elaine dates a man named Joel Rifkin, the same name as a real serial killer, dominating headlines at the time. Her discomfort becomes the joke. She urges him to change his name. Among the names tossed around is OJ, months before OJ Simpson's arrest. Watching it now carries a strange chill. The episode captures a snapshot of 1990s America on the edge of scandal culture. Seinfeld never addressed tragedy directly, but it brushed against it. The humor came from awkward proximity to real headlines. It felt contemporary without becoming preachy. That balancing act kept it sharp. Number 9. Kramer's entrance and audience chaos. In early seasons, whenever Kramer burst through Jerry's door, live audiences erupted. Applause lasted so long it disrupted timing. Production had to recalibrate. That kind of spontaneous reaction can't be manufactured. It's earned. Michael Richards created a character so physically unpredictable that viewers anticipated the entrance like a rock star's encore. Over time, the ovations were toned down, but those early cheers remain audible proof of lightning in a bottle. It showed how one supporting character could redefine a series' energy completely. Number 10. Elaine wasn't in the original vision. The original pilot featured a waitress character named Claire. The dynamic felt limited. The creative team pivoted. Elaine Bennis entered the frame, and the show changed permanently. Julia Louis-Dreyfus brought sharp intelligence and comedic ferocity that matched the men beat for beat. Her presence prevented the show from becoming a male-only echo chamber. She added romantic complexity, rivalry, and professional ambition. Without Elaine, Seinfeld feels incomplete. With her, it gained balance and longevity. Number 11. The $1 million benchmark. By the final season, Jerry Seinfeld earned $1 million per episode. That milestone recalibrated industry standards. Actors began demanding back-end deals and syndication percentages. Sitcom economics shifted. What started as a modest experiment became a financial blueprint. The show didn't just dominate ratings, it altered compensation models for future television stars. Number 12. The parking garage illusion. One of the most claustrophobic episodes took place almost entirely in a parking garage. The twist? It wasn't real. The production team dismantled the main set and constructed a full-scale replica, using mirrors to create endless repetition. The illusion amplified frustration and relatability. Everyone has lost a car. Everyone has felt trapped in fluorescent confusion. The set design transformed a mundane inconvenience into existential comedy. Number 13. The stand-up disappearance. For years, episodes were framed by Jerry's stand-up bits. After season 7, those segments quietly vanished. The show became more situational, less commentary-driven. The absence signaled evolution. The characters no longer needed explanation through monologue. They stood on their own. Number 14. The lawsuit over George Costanza. A man once sued, claiming George Costanza was based on him. The lawsuit didn't succeed, but it underscored something powerful. The character felt real enough to claim ownership over. George embodied insecurity so precisely that someone believed it must have been stolen from life. That authenticity is rare. Seinfeld endures because it trusted the audience. It refused sentimentality, avoided easy morals, and exposed the absurdity of everyday life without apology. From a nearly rejected pilot to a record-breaking finale, its legacy isn't just about ratings, it's about creative conviction. It proved that timing matters, that walking away can be more powerful than holding on, and that ordinary moments can become timeless when observed honestly. Decades later, we're still quoting it because we still see ourselves in it. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories that shaped Hollywood history.